just yesterday, we didn't hear the best of news. Results came in over the weekend. Results came in, and 1 out of 4 candidates failed core maths and social studies. Yes, 1 out of 4 failed core maths and social studies. Now, what am I talking about? Maybe you are wondering. So I want to say in the year 2024, the decline was actually 6.10% in 2024, okay? That's the percentage that failed. In the year 2025, 26.77% failed in mathematics. Yes. So if last year you had 6.10% fail in mathematics, this year you have a whooping 26.77% fail in mathematics. Now, we go to social studies, and this is what the number says. In 2024, 9.55% failed in social studies. This year, 27.50% failed in social studies. What are we not doing right? That's a question I've been asking myself. And I've been trying to get it to the bottom of it because it doesn't even make sense. That people are supposed to get better. So why are we getting worse? Countries are supposed to get better. Why are we getting worse? Are we playing cha-cha with our education system? Is it that any time we have to campaign, we campaign with education and it messes up the children? Because it's not supposed to get worse. We have to get to see some level of improvement. So everybody's expectation, if last year, the record was 6.11, with regards to failure, it should be like 2.0 this time. Not 26, not 20. Why are we recording this? What are we doing to ourselves? As parents, are we failing our children in bringing up the way that they should know that they need to study because the future awaits them? As a country, are we equipping the children the right way to be able to pass their exams? Well, these are questions we are asking because we will not blame just the government, but it takes you and I to build a better future for our children. And so Yaw Sarpong has also joined us this morning. And Yaw, good morning to you. How are you?
Well, God has been kind.
Great. I can tell God has been kind, and I can tell you were in church yesterday as well.
Extremely. It's extreme because I was in church from morning till about 3 p.m.
Oh, wow.
I still have some of the anointing I will share with Ben. He didn't go.
He was in church. He says he was in church.
Hey.
Yeah.
Ruba.
He was.
Your wife took you to church or you were in church?
He was in church.
I was a preacher for yesterday.
Thank you very much.
Men's fellowship.
So we want to ask the questions, and I think my very first question to Honorable Ebenezer Nartey will be, what are we doing wrong as a country, as parents, as society? Honorable.
President, let me say good morning to our viewers and then good morning to you and Yaw. Before I come to the issues, there are some issues I want to talk about just for a minute.
Okay, sure.
God willing, on Wednesday, on the 3rd of December, this year at our conference, that's the MPP Delegate Conference, we did some amendment in our constitution. So God willing, coming Wednesday, we are going to launch our new amended constitution at the party office. So I'm inviting you and inviting Yaw too as well.
Okay.
So
the media is invited, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, nice.
We'll come and give us
He promised to give me a copy of the how do you call it?
The Great Transformational Plan.
Yes, which he has refused. But if he fails to come on Wednesday, next week Monday, I'll give him a copy of our new constitution.
Okay.
I need it. As a Deputy General Secretary of my party, I will need it.
Yes, and then over the weekend, you touch about the Farmers' Day coming on in Volta region.
Yeah.
You see, there's something going on in this country that if care is not taken, it will get to a point, just as we are about to discuss this SS issue, everything will get out of hand. Our party office in the Volta region, and to precise the whole constituency, was demolished over the weekend. Reason being that they are going to use that place for a car park for the Farmers' Day.
Oh, really?
I called the regional chairman myself, Chairman Wanya, and I asked him whether that place is a government land. He said the former regional minister acquired that site since 1994. Dr. Achibod Lecha, 1994. And he was operating at that site. He have stores there. So he gave one to the constituency as a party office. All in the name of politics. Were not informed. They were not told anything. Use the drip machine bought by the previous administration. Go and demolish it. All because of politics. You see, a time will come in this country that because of what is going on today, other parties will also come into power that you cannot stop them for what. And at the end of the day, I keep on asking myself, where are we heading to? A third issue I want to raise. During the campaign of President Mahama, he promised of investigating the death of the 2020 elections, those who were injured, and all other election violence. When he came to power, he also mandated the former IGP to investigate those issues. Up to today, I have not heard anything whether they have done it or not.
Okay.
I want to make this passionate appeal. I'm saying that because at my end, I was a candidate there, and I know what went on in the constituency, that one person lost his life. In fact, the person who lost it, in as much as he's an NDC person, he's a friend. And but in my constituency, NDC and MPP,
You are family.
we are family. We are very close friends. We are very close. You can ask anybody in Ablekuma Central what's the relationship between NDC and MPP within the constituency. So hardly do you see some of these violence happen. I want to appeal to IGP. If he has not done anything, it's as a matter of urgency, they should do it and get a report to the president. And if possible, those that were injured, those that have passed away, some compensation that were promised should be given to him.
Right.
And then on the last thing, God willing, next week, Monday, our students will be writing their exam, the junior, from primary, JSS, what have you. And they will be vacating latest on the 18th of December. President John Mahama promised the female students in the primary and senior high school a sanitary pad. The sanitary pad launching was done in my constituency. After sharing the first one, which even some were given to boys who said they are going to use it to play football.
Really?
Oh yes, I have the video I can share with you.
Okay, please share with me after.
Up to today, they have not been given the sanitary pad again. They are going to vacate.
Okay.
I'm making a passionate appeal again to the president through the Minister for Gender and Social Protection.
Okay.
That they should keep their promise.
Right.
Because we were told that because of sanitary pad, it made it very difficult for our young sisters to be going to school when they are in a menstrual period. 5 months,
Okay.
Thank
you very much for that awareness, because this one in particular, I think that I do side with you, that if we've started something like this, it is a good initiative, and so we have to continue. So if every month the girls are going to get their sanitary pads, and if it's true, I have to actually check on it, if it's true that they are not being supplied or not. But if it's true, then we are pleading that the authorities do supply them with the sanitary pad. With regards to the party office that has been demolished, I think you'll be right that we also hear the side of the people that demolished it. What's the reason? Do they have a court order to have been able to demolish it? And, probably when they give the reason, then we can get to understand it better. If it's more politically driven, or it was a right thing to be done. So for that, I do understand, but then we get to the bottom of it as well. So thank you so much, Honorable.
Thank you. Roslyn, SS Results. In fact, when she last sent me this topics yesterday, the last week I wanted to discuss the same issue with her, that if it would be possible, we should get the Ministry of Education to explain certain things that they are doing now to the public and to the parents. 3 weeks ago, I attended a PTA meeting of my children at St. Benedict's school, Dansoman. Many parents were upset about the BEC results of the school. It as much that it was not bad, it was good, but the expectation of parents was looking at the results, it was not so much good to the parents. Then the head explained that there's a new formula from the ministry through GES. What is it? If we have 100 students writing BEC, and all these 100 students get Maths 1, English 1, Science 1, they will take 40% out of the 100 and give them the 1 mark. The rest of the 60 will be shifted to get B, C, and D. So it means that your results, instead of you to maybe get 9 ones or 8 ones, you are going to get like maybe 12, 40 because, and we ask, what's the rationale behind it? There's, even when you go to this,
and this is for the private schools?
No, BEC, that's a new formula.
Okay.
I was like,
since when?
They started with this BEC candidate, those who just completed.
Wow, okay.
So I was like, I mean, how can I go and write exams and get 100? And instead of you to give me A, you are telling me that because we are picking 40% of it, we are giving you B. So I told them that, look, that's the more reason why now. And you see, government too has given 40% of these grade A schools to the public schools, the ones we call Saito.
Yeah.
So many of the parents now, what they do is that when you get to Form 3, or maybe Form 2, second term or third term,
they take their children to the Saito schools
to go and register there, so that, because you know you have gotten the foundation from the private schools. So then you move to the public school, go and write. And then so this school, they have about 5 or 6 people getting a grade 6, or maybe 9 ones, 6 ones, what have you. Meanwhile, the foundation was not coming from the school. But because of the percentage given to the public schools, they have to go and write there and they will get the school that they want. I think the GES need to come out and explain things. In fact, when you even ask them, they told you that, we don't know why they are doing that. And I think that it is very important. On the issue of the SS resource.
No, Honorable, wait, I just want us to clarify it, because if this is the new thing, today we'll have the PRO of GES joining us, and if this is really...
On this, before we leave?
Yes.
Oh, then I'll be very grateful.
Yes, so join us on Zoom.
Yes, I'll be very grateful.
Because this that you have raised is very, very alarming.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because why are children writing exams? A child gets 100%, and then instead of giving the child 1, you say that I've already given 40. So what's the criteria with which they select the 40? And then what happens to the others? I thought that during our time, it was more of the mark you get. So let's say 70 is A. So everybody in the 70 gets A. From 60 to probably like 50 is B. So everybody in that bracket gets a B. So why are we now saying that even if you get a 70 or you get 80, that you're supposed to get an A, and we have selected the 40%, the rest all get B? It doesn't make sense. So we'll get to the bottom.
Even when you go to the universities, it's the same. They tell you that maybe from 100 to this is A, from maybe 75 to this, yes. And they'll tell you, oh, let's check the raw score. Yeah. And then, I mean, I'll be very grateful that we get him, so I'll put this question before him.
Yes, we will. So now, are you saying that this could be the reason why we are seeing the decline with regards to the...
No. I'm just saying this in relation
with the
BEC.
Okay, all right, sure. Now let's go into the WASSCE.
With the WASSCE results, I am blaming 4 categories of people. in what is happening today. One, the students themselves, parents, the school authorities, and government. All these four group of people have role to play in developing our students, or all of us as we want to excel in life. But what do we see today? You go to a lot of the secondary schools. On the government side, has failed. And I'm not talking about this particular government. I'm talking about governments that have been in power. Have totally failed when it comes to infrastructure development for the students. Apart from infrastructure, there are other things that the government needs to provide to the schools to enable them, to enable the school to also teach the children. In this case, you go to some schools, that Rosalie, the condition in which they find themselves is very bad. So people try to do their own thing in the school. Others have to fall on, old students and other institutions to help them. So I think that government need to provide what they are supposed to give in to them. The side of parents, Rosalie, and I'll mention the school, Ebenezer Secondary School. I've lost a friend of mine who lived just about 2 minutes walk to the school. And this come in the issue of this hostel for people going to day schools. There's 2 houses after my friend's house is a hostel. Ebenezer Secondary School is not a boarding school. So someone have converted his house to for hostel for the school. Rosalie, a 14-year-old girl from Winneba or from outside Accra posted to Ebenezer Secondary School. Definitely the parents have to go and look for accommodation for them, because maybe might not have any relatives in Accra, any hostel. How can you control the student?
So, you know, the question I posed earlier with regards to our system, is it that we are playing too much politics with our education system?
Rosalind, I've been constantly saying that in this country of ours. And the last time somebody was just saying all manner of things against me. That look, everything in this country have tended to be politics. And that is what is affecting us today. Look, we are complaining because everything in Ghana is now politics.
Which is sad.
You remember during President Kofo's time? From Rawlings' time, it was 3 years. Then it came to 4 years. NDC came to 3 years. NPP came 3 years.
There was a time that was 2.5. We
were just playing politics. Every political party comes with his own idea as to how he wants to transform certain, institutions. But the question that we need to ask ourselves, when President Kofo's time, it was 4 years, what was the performance? And compared to the 2.5 and then the 3 years, what was the result?
So President Kofo's time, there was 4, it was 3, it went to 2.5, then it went to 4. That was President Kofo under one tenor. It was 3, went to 2.5, then it went to 4.
I think it was Professor Amian Kofi when he became education minister. Then he took it to 4 years. And we'll just have to ask ourselves, so what was the results at that time? And after that 4 years, that we came back to the 3 years, what is the results also?
Okay.
So I think that...
Evan, please end for me in 1 minute.
The parents also have a role to play by ensuring that, look, I'm taking you to this school because I want you to become someone in future. But it is not about a lifestyle that you want to live. Then the last thing is about the students. Rosalind, look, the issue I was talking to you about, just last Saturday, when I went to my friend to greet the wife, come and see the addressing. And I mentioned this as Ebenezer Secondary School. So I called one of the ladies. I said, where are you people going? So we are going to have, but that's the day that the girl did that Wendy Shay's program. So we are going for a program. So really? So I asked myself, so in this 14 years, 15 years, 16 years in the hostel, living under nobody's care, what do you think is going to happen to the person. You have secondary school girls, and you'll be seeing it on social media. He will tell you, your friend is saying, you should hold your husbands. You, Rosalind, you are not using iPhone 17 Pro Max or 16 Pro Max. And your daughter is using iPhone 16 or 17 Pro Max. You will not even question her, where did you get this phone from? Who bought this phone for you? All what you are interested is, me bani kita phone. Hey, me bani de waya de o, me bani de SEO. Abasha boni.
Okay, let me go on Zoom. Now, Daniel has joined us. He's the PRO for GES. He has joined us, and I know that Honorable Ebenezer Nartey even has some questions to ask. But we are very concerned about this because it looks like our secondary school system is where the issue is. When it comes to the JHS, when it comes to the universities, they don't touch it. They don't. But the secondary school, it has become a political football field. So everybody plays their ball the way they want to play it, whether they want to play with a 10-man or they want to play it with 11, or if they decide to even go with a 16-man, they will do it. That's what is happening with the education system, especially the secondary school side. So Daniel Fenyi, good morning.
Hello, good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank you too for joining us. Very worrying with regards to the results that have been recorded. Of course, we don't want to play politics with it, but when we look at the 2024's results and 2025 results, it's quite appalling, isn't it?
Thank you for the opportunity, and let me say good morning to our cherished viewers. Indeed, what you are and what we are comparing is integrity of examination process versus a period where integrity wasn't a really serious matter for discussion. What that means is that if you would remember, prior to the examination, this particular examination, the acting director general for GES, Professor, is the Minister for Education, the Deputy Minister for Education, all sent out very strong indications that teachers, students, supervisors who would countenance, who would engage in any form of malpractice will not be tolerated at all. Sincerely, if you go to schools and you engage teachers, you engage students, a fair number of them would admit that this year, more practices, invigilation, supervision were keenly monitored by higher authorities, and that teachers who wanted to engage in any form of compromise had to look over their shoulders several times. This wasn't really the case sometimes past. So what we can confirm to you this morning is that the result you are seeing is not massaged, it's not manipulated. We are not interested in creating political pictures because we believe that examination and its integrity helps to groom the future of this country. What does it take to just put out the data that this year 90% of the children passed mathematics? What does it really take? Who even confirms it? If we had come out to say that this year 100% of the students passed English language, who would have even found that out? So the point remains that we are not excited about just using the result of our students and the examination of our students for politics. We are not interested in that. If a child writes an exams or sits an exams and obtains an A, we want to give the child the A. If he obtains B, we want to give the B in that order.
Very good.
And not necessarily.
No, thank you so much, Daniel. Hello? Oh my goodness. I hope we're able to raise Daniel again and then we ask him more questions. Thank you so much. Please try and call him because I really have a lot of questions to ask Daniel because Nana, with regards to what Daniel said, the integrity aspect of it. But then the question is, if you're talking about integrity, these children have been in classrooms. Okay, from what? Class 1 all the way up. Some even start crèche. Parents are paying school fees. In my payment of school fees, I am hoping that the child is well taught. I am hoping that the child has the right to textbooks, to laboratories, to all that they need to have. And so I'm expecting to see better results during exams. It's not about integrity. It's not about invigilation. It is about what you've taught the child that the child should be able to pass. And so if we take it into integrity, then it's like, okay, even if we don't teach the children anything, it's fine. Is that what it is?
President, thank you, and good morning to Ben and colleagues who are watching us from afar. Rosalind, there is a gap between the school, the studies of the student, and to an extent the curricula that they use, and the exam structure of this country, which we need to probably review or have a second look at. Most of the schools today do what we call teach to pass the exams. And that has a huge effect on the students. And so if the child gets into the exams hall and there is a little twist that ends it, we do not teach these students to have the knowledge to which you have paid that fees that the student or your child should go into the school to acquire. I agree with Eben when he has said that he wouldn't want to politicize the matter, but would want to look at it from 4 angles. Of course, I had also wanted to look at it from 4 angles. We agreed on some. 1, the student. 2, the school itself. 3, the parental control and guidance, or what I call the parental effect. And the last one has to do with discipline. Now, you asked you pose a very integral or important scenario that it is always at the secondary school level that we seem to be seeing this. It doesn't happen from the primary, it doesn't happen to the GHS, but only at the SHS. It doesn't happen in the universities. The SHS is the critical area. I always say that from the lower primary, that's it, from the kindergarten to probably primary 3, 4, very critical. I don't know the structures they term as lower primary.
Daniel is back online. Can I please finish with him because he will have to go. Hi, Daniel.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome back. Unfortunately, the line dropped earlier. Now, earlier you did talk about integrity. Now, let's also talk about what we are doing to help these children because they attend classes. Teachers are there. Are these teachers well equipped to teach the children in a way that when they sit in exams rooms, they should be able to remember and pass their exams?
All right, indeed. So let's pick it from all the factors that should contribute to examination outcomes, right? Number 1 is the Ghana education itself, as you mentioned, the facilities, the resources, books, curriculum, science laboratories, computer laboratories. That is the duty of Ghana Education Service, yes. By extension, government. Has government provided sufficient resources to aid our students? Admittedly, there's more to do. There's more to do. Anyone who is in Ghana, interested in Ghana education structures and all that would admit that when it comes to resources, our teachers work with very limited resources. So that is admittedly, on the part of Ghana Education Service or government. Number two, teachers. Our teachers teaching, our teachers working hard. I can tell you that the Ghanaian teacher is one of the most hardworking teachers in the world, because they put in all their maximum effort with the limited resources they are given. All right. When you go to various parts of the world, you would attest that many teachers may not be able to work within such constrained environment and resources. So our teachers really, they do teach, really, they do give exercises, assignments, sometimes a lot of homework. If you have observed social media for some time over the period, some parents were even complaining that these days the homeworks are just too much and all that. It is because teachers continue to engage our learners. Number three, parents. Do parents play their role in helping their students, their children, i.e., providing them with parental support, helping them buy some supplementary books, buy things they would need in the house? Do they provide them with conducive learning environment? That's a matter for discussion, really. Of course, you find some parents who are quite supportive. However, you find some parents who are not so forthcoming, and that also affects the performance of our learners. The next one is the students themselves, the students who are taking the examination themselves. Are students serious? Are students learning? I think this is a controversial matter for discussion. You would agree that recently, with what we all see and monitor on social media, you would observe that many of our students are a bit more active on social media, quite distracted. Of course, many are also learning genuinely to pass the examination, learning hard and all that. But the influx of the media, social media, online activities, and several other things, right, contribute students, and some of them not really learning very hard, distracted. And so the teacher will deliver all they have to deliver, government will deliver all it has to deliver. But it's almost like a coach who has guided a student to the football field. The output of the player largely depends on the player too. So of course, when a team loses a match, we can go on and blame coaches, blame all of them. But the player on the field too, sometimes you, the spectator, can really admit that this player is doing very well, but this player too is not doing so well. That's the exact situation with our students. You can see that some of our students are learning very hard, but many of them too are distracted, and sometimes it reflects in the outcomes that they get. We are still waiting for the chief examiner's report, but you can see that sometimes in the writing of, say, English language, you find social media languages find its way in the examinations that our learners write, i.e., the shorthands, the broken English, the pidgin English, and all that. Sometimes some of these social media languages find their find expression in the examinations they write and all that. So I believe that largely all the parts play a fair role in ensuring examination outcomes. Yes.
Right. And now you did speak on discipline. In recent times, even Anaya brought it up as well. In recent times, we are seeing so many videos on social media where, young girls and young boys are on there talking about how they are going to snatch people's husbands and, the kind of things they are doing. Do you have plans to instill discipline back in schools?
Yes. In fact, when the new management came in, management of GES came in, and even the government as a whole came in, one of the troubling issues that first met them is indiscipline in schools. The level, the height of indiscipline. Students fighting teachers, students insult, some of them using language that tells that they are interested in marital issues, issues that are not related to education at all, and all manner of things. As we talk now, the Ghana Education Service, the new management has developed a value fund. Let's call it courtesy for boys and girls. Those days, we have developed a new handbook called the value handbook that is integrity, that is respect, that it is learn how to learn, when to learn, why to learn, and all those things. It's a book that should be launched this week, and it will be distributed across all schools to help support our learners in terms of discipline. In terms of disciplinary issues that also need punishment. Of course, it is not all indiscipline that will need counseling and guidance and values handbook and courtesy for boys and girls. Some of them like punishment. For that, I can assure you that with the management, the new management is very committed to ensuring sanctions, appropriate sanctions, based on the code of conduct of our schools or our students are strictly complied with. So yes, you should expect an improved disciplinary measure going forward in our schools.
Fantastic. Are we to expect corporal punishment to return?
Corporal punishment has quite a legal dimension, so it becomes quite controversial when you are dealing with it. What is corporal punishment? Largely, it is the punishment that instills pain on a learner or on a person, pain, physical pain, i.e. caning, kneeling down, raising your hand, running in the sun, and those days, even though now it is discouraged, those days, weeding, scrubbing, any form of punishment that instills pain on the learner. The observation was that sometimes in the course of administering some corporal punishment, some teachers go overboard, and so by the time you realize blood is oozing out, students are deformed, even though not in large quantities, but it was making impact in our learners. As we talk now, some learners fear certain subjects because of how canes were administered during the teaching of those subjects. So if you are not careful, you go and administer corporal punishment, a learner is deformed or pain is instilled, and by the time you realize they are taking the legal action and stretching back and forth all over the place. So that has a legal dimension, so that
so it's a no. So it's a no. Okay, thank you.
Is he able to define the positives of corporal punishment? He's done a lot with the negatives. Can we look at the positives of corporal punishment?
Daniel, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, Daniel. Did you hear Yaw Sarpong? Sorry.
Come again. No, I didn't hear that well.
Well, he said that we should look at the positives of...
No, I'm asking.
Define, right?
He said he has defined it with the negatives. Is he able to give us positives, or whether or not corporal punishment has no positives?
Okay, so if I got it faintly, if I got it well, he says, my explanation looked more at the negative side of corporal punishment, but what about the positive side?
Exactly.
Instilling pain, of course, at the back of your mind, the motive is to reform, deter, so reform character or deter a learner from getting into the bad behavior, or serve as a caution to others who would want to engage. I don't know if his thinking is in line with what our plan. If that's the case, then should we look at it from the angle that can we still achieve these things we have said, in that, in other words, reforming character, deterring persons from committing bad behavior, and sounding caution out there? Is it possible that you can still achieve these things without instilling pain or without instilling physical pain? So it appears that is where the conversation now tells to us. So it's like at the back of your mind, you have very positive mind towards reforming character and then making sure our learners turn out good behavior. But is it possible we can still administer this positive mind and still not instill pain on the skin of our learners? So that's where the conversation really is. And of course, as a new management, we are open to any form of reformation that will help our children. What do we even want if not for turning out learners with good behavior, learners who would become the future leaders of the country? This is the ultimate goal. So if there are some more discussions, some more conversations, some more suggestions that will support the GES to achieve this, why not? We are very much open for those conversations.
Okay, I think Nanaya wants to have a conversation with you, so yeah.
See, the definition of corporal punishment does not only limit to the bodily pain. It does have, also goes into the area of making a child or the person receiving it uncomfortable. So you see, there are two sides to it. The aspect of instilling pain in the person and the aspect of making the child uncomfortable. It's like we always define the aspect of pain rather than making the child uncomfortable. Okay, so in my house, if I tell my child to face the wall, or if I tell my child to, all right, at a point, it makes the child uncomfortable. It's not pain. I'm not cutting the child.
Okay.
All right, so
Scrubbing is not pain.
No. You are scrubbing the bathhouse you bath.
Yes.
That's probably in the domestic staff in the house. The domestic staff is the one who's supposed to do it. But because of that behavior of yours, I tell the domestic staff not to do it, but you should do it. Or you have done something and we tell you to go and read. I do not think that it is tantamount to killing the child or cutting the child in
So to you, Nana, you think corporal punishment should be brought back?
Of course, I've always said it. And number two, is he able to define to us the rate of indiscipline in these schools between the 90s and the early 2000s, and the rate of indiscipline in schools when they took out corporal punishment from the late 2010 or so till we have now? And I'll give you an example. We've all been to schools before. Today, you would have children in school threatening the lives of teachers. You would have children in school. No, bring him back. You would have children.
This thing, we need to get a time with them on
using
at
phones
the studio here to talk about it.
In our time.
Seriously.
Rosalind, at least apart from this old man.
We will have, what's it called? We'll have
no, we should have a discussion on it, because
panel discussion with maybe studio audience.
The focus of
and
GES,
particularly even invite some of the students to also attend.
When the GES is focused on the pains that is going, no, but corporal punishment does make a child uncomfortable. And till today, some of us still see our madams and our teachers, and we still get up from our seats to greet them.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You understand me? And if
but Nana, maybe it was abused. At a point, it was abused.
I agree.
No. So then, when?
I agree.
When do we say that enough is enough? I wanted to ask you.
Depending on where you stand, that you call it.
Exactly.
You understand me? No more Ababia near friend of Fia. I don't know the name you guys give it here. All right, the bamboo that's small. You understand? And we have our French madam who had a rubber cane for her own. We always talked about it. But the teachers who would hold that cane, when they are coming, the class is quiet. But today, when they are coming, and I want to read something from my old school page. We were discussing this just 2 days ago.
When the results came in?
Just when the results came in. We were just discussing, and somebody put a write-up on it. And she was complaining bitterly because she lives closer to the school. And she was talking about how indisciplined the students have become. And the students jumping the fence. And they are not able to stop them because the security man who does or say it, the next time, or say, Oh, these are the
There was even a video that was trending not too long ago of some students who were getting off a bus, just to go to town to have fun. And like we are saying, the teachers can't control them. That is quite worrying.
That's where the problem is. There are some that can be controlled and some that cannot be controlled. Those in a boarding school, yes. Even with them, to some extent,
you can't control. But those who do the videos that we see on social media, they are in boarding houses.
Let me just read this. He says the girls are not controlled. He said if the guys wants to take a girl out, then the security man who talks about it is taken away. Also, he wrote it a big pigeon. All he was trying to say is that now the girls' friends within the school, nobody controls the place. The security can't talk. The teachers can't talk. When the school suspends a student, the chiefs and other people would come in. When they push punishment, GS comes in. And if I'm a teacher and I want to protect my job, someone me back. You understand me? You're not my ward. If you become trouble, you take it to your house.
So I leave.
But the final thing is that wayward child, not only his parents or family will suffer.
We'll all suffer one day.
We'll all suffer one day. So are we going to sit down and just look at the fewer abuses and not dealing with it and allow our children
But you see, as much as we want to bring it back, we need to put a cap on it, Nana. Let's not.
There will definitely be a cap.
Because I know some teachers that abused it.
I'm saying that those are just, he admits that they're a handful.
So then
we deal with that.
When do we put a cap on it?
When I was about making my submission.
No, but if you say they abuse it in what extent?
Well, I have seen, I won't even say you, maybe you haven't. I have seen some children who have been beaten so badly, they ended up in the hospital.
With those ones can be dealt with.
Those are fewer amongst the many.
Exactly.
We can pick them and deal with it.
Must we get there?
We are there. We are there when you go on social media and you see these children naked on social media. We are there when you take their exam scripts and you are reading pidgin and you are reading shorthands. We are there when they cannot even write myself. We are there when we now have the book English and we have have you witnessed some of these students do presentations when they get to the university? It's embarrassing. They cannot stand to make a presentation even for 2 minutes.
And then, what about parents? When parents come in?
Yes, I didn't finish my submission.
Let me give him 1 minute to answer.
But he has spoken more than the time.
Oh, no.
Because I had 1 minute. Because we were talking about the parental
I'll definitely come back to you. So.
All right, so, you see, the students, the focus of the child, or the vision we help the child build as a parent is very critical to the child's performance and focus in school. You understand me? When we're children, our parents help us in guiding us to being what we are today. Yesterday, I was talking to a friend on phone, and I told him that I am what I am today because of the very last statements my mother made to me on her sick bed. You get me? What do parents feed their children with in terms of information? Do they even have time for their children today? The schools today are more focused on making money. The schools today are more focused on becoming a grade A school. The schools today are more focused on pleasing the gentlemen at GES than the future of the children.
If you say pleasing the gentlemen of GES, what are you talking about?
Of course, they have a guideline to work with. They have a guideline to work with. If you don't perform from grade A, you become grade C. As a headmaster, you don't want to drop from grade A to become a grade C.
The guideline is more of the results that you are getting, right?
That's what I'm saying. So, you see, they go... Have you heard of some of these schools having to buy results and even pay off invigilators and security.
But this is when Daniel, so this brings us back to what Daniel said. There are stringent measures now. And that is why maybe one of the contributing factors to us seeing the results we are seeing.
Let's be honest with ourselves. And let's call this. It is this one that has come out today. Let's wait for next year's results. The ones that will be coming, we would see 90%, 95% pass. Well, we've seen this before. Some 2-3 years ago, I think before Ebenezer became Minister of, what's the name? Education. There was a year that the passing, this was bad, it became political. They were talking about it, and when we were there, the following year, when we said they're going to pass it, those students go and do a follow-up, the universities they got into. All right, so just the very last one.
Yeah.
Now, Eben made a statement about some of these day schools. There's a reason why we have day schools. There is a reason why we have day schools. A day school that does not have the facilities to accommodate boarders or residential students should not be forced into becoming a boarding house school. And so if a student has written an exam and has done so well, and Ebenezer or Achimota or whichever school is a day school, if you are posting students there, you post students who are within that environment, that community.
So then it
you do not bring
the computer
somebody
system as well.
Yes, okay. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The review, we ought to be able to review and restructure some of these posting systems and the day school whatever policy, whatever.
You know, there's a lot of contributing factors to this. The computer system is a contributing factor. Mm-hmm. The double track system. Mm-hmm. The double track system. And it's something that I wanted to ask Daniel before, the line went off. The double track. Some parents even went on social media complaining about the fact that their children were in school for 3 weeks, had to come home for about 6 weeks or 2 months, go back to school again for another 3 weeks, and they vacate. Where are we heading towards with these children? And how do we expect such children to pass exams? And how do we even expect such children to be disciplined in school? Because they can't even stay in school to be disciplined.
Rosalind, that is why I said from the beginning that this 4 category of people or institutions are the cost of what we are saying today. Government, parent, school, and students. But before I come to the issues that you have raised, Nana raised an issue of punishment. Rosalind, look, and I'm happy about the time frame that Nana was given. That during our time, compared to this time, you can see a big difference when it comes to discipline in our schools.
I mean, you dare not
and even
an
discipline,
elder and not greet the elder.
Or even discipline, even among students.
Yeah.
Look, where I went to primary school, and my house is not far, but I have a friend in Latebi Okoshi. It's about 30-45 minutes walk. I'll leave my house, go to my friend's house, and go and call him. Unfortunately for me, my class 1 teacher lives in that house. Mm-hmm. Sometimes on my way going, I'll see her, greet her, and go and call my friend. When I come back, and then she'll beat me. All because the distance between your house and your school is not far. Why do you have to leave and go and call somebody for 30-45 minutes and come back to the school? But today, we are being told that we shouldn't discipline our children. In fact, look, I was giving an example about the PTA. I have written to St. Benedict's that for me, my 2 kids there, they are entitled to be disciplined. Because if I'm spending so much on you, I am doing whatever you want me to do for you, I'm also expecting you to put in your best. I'm also expecting the school to put in their best. But here is the case, that we are being told that teachers will not touch the children. Yes, I agree with you when you say that some abuse the punishment. Some abuse with some reasons. But if you are a teacher, a male teacher, and you are sleeping with a 13, a 14, a 15-year-old student in your school, would that child respect you? she will not respect you. So the end of it is that, oh, he has refused me twice, then based on that, you punish the person. With those ones, we can deal with it. But there are other students too that are so difficult to deal with in the school. And the kind of life that people are living today. Yes, he raised the issue, the PR raised the issue about social media. Rosalind, I can tell you, look, my 6-year-old boy is given an assignment, and they will say he should go and do research. And then you come, Daddy, I want your phone for research. I say, research for what? 2 years, 6 years in class 2. And you are being asked to come and do research and come for the phone. After doing the research, whatever he wanted to Google, and they asked for him to, he's good at those things. Before you realize, he's playing game. Before he realize, he's watching cartoons. And sometimes most of the things on my phone, he downloads it. I mean, some, in that cases, will be downloading other things that will not help. Rosalind, in our time, do you do research and those things?
So I think that there are
some of the things that, yes, in as much that...
Which computer age?
No, we didn't have access.
We did it, but
we agree.
Rosalind, look,
totally agree.
That is why most of the teachers now don't give them notes. Then they'll tell you to go and do research.
They don't even do...
But your teacher will come and write.
Notes again.
Then somebody will come and clean. Then you also copy. Fast.
If you don't write quick, you miss it.
Moreover, if you have a problem with the one who come and clean the blackboard and you are not finished,
and then they will expect notes too. So you can relate. If you don't write your notes, you'll be beaten the next day. Yeah, that's so true.
So I believe that there are certain things that during our time, or maybe 15, 20 years ago, we are doing in our school. We need to bring it back and bring some sanity in our schools. Look, all these results that we are seeing today, I blame this category of people: government, parents, teachers, and students as well. Because, yes, I agree with Daniel by saying that, yes, if you are posting somebody, and as you rightly said about the computerized system, it's also a problem for us. Very big problem. And as I said, if you live in Kasua, and you know all these complaints comes when there's posters. I don't know any. Somebody doesn't know anybody. Me sitting here today. If you post my daughter or my son to the north, I don't know anybody in the northern region. I don't have a friend. I don't have a relative in the northern region. So what would I do? And
maybe you can't afford a private school.
I have to go and look for how do you call it?
Private
hostel for my daughter. How safe is my daughter? Because in the hostel, she has no control. Nobody control her in the hostel.
You see, they will come and defend it by saying that they assign 2 or 3 teachers to be responsible to that.
How possible?
You see, some of these things. Just a quick one. As an assistant headmaster sent me this when this relationship with students came up, and I would read it. I've asked his permission, so I'll read it. I won't mention his name. He said, when teachers are accused of harassing female students, I feel sad. If the world knew how schoolgirls blackmail teachers, it would shock you. As an assistant headmaster, I lined all final year student girls for caning because so many of them lured a teacher to have sex, and he refused. So when he was passing to the staff room, they were chorusing at him, "Mantie, you can't fall." Sorry for the word.
Ooh.
He sat and wept. I saw him and I asked. I lashed them before their English language people. This is an assistant headmaster who sent this to me.
Wow.
That day too, we were talking about this corporal punishment. He said that after the polling, he called me, he said, "Daniel," I'm called Daniel, he's my colleague. He said, "I put my job on the line." I said, the man, for that matter, the teacher sat in the staff common room and was weeping like a baby. Students between, how old are they?
14, 15.
And you see them on social media. If they bring the phone to school and a teacher who is like me goes to see it and sees it, you would see parents coming. you would see these same GES people would come because they want to protect Ghana Education Service. Make human rights for about we need to deal with this matter. It is tell him to take it home. Take which home?
Anyway, let's see if we have some messages that have come in. Of course, this conversation is really, really big. I think we need a forum.
And
that's what we have to
just
do.
A final
we have to
one.
need a forum for this.
The focus of the studies in most of these schools have been lost. Mm. The focus of studies in most of these schools have been lost. They just go there and teach them what to do to pass the exams. That ends it. And when there is a twist, it leads to some of these percentages of failure. We need to deal with this matter before we lose it.
Okay, so good morning, beautiful Roslyn. I like your new look. Oh, thank you so much. For my first time loving and supporting Honorable Ebenezer Nartey on your show, maybe it's because he went to church yesterday.
He preached yesterday.
Well, Roslyn, I will forever blame students for examination failure. The current SHS students can't even express themselves in speech, not to talk of writing. I engage with some SHS students and they can't even spell their names and the programs that they are offering. What do you expect these students to produce in WASSCE? How can students lure teachers to have sex with them? Why should a teacher be prohibited from punishing a student? Hashtag bring corporal punishment back. It's me, Dachi. Thank you so much, Dachi, for sending your message. The removal of corporal punishment has never brought anything good in schools. The government should be careful with some policy implementation. Peace. Okay, I'm Francis Gune. Okay, says, good morning, Roslyn, and your panelists. Our educational system at the secondary school level will continue to decline if we keep on with the haphazard way of running them. Yes, infrastructure, curriculum, teachers, etc. are necessary factors to look at, but all will yield nothing if we fail to ensure basic standards and core disciplinary behaviors that are necessary for the students to learn. We are always finding ways to justify indiscipline, deviant and disobedient behaviors and attitudes by calling them as abuses and violations of the rights of the students.
Absolutely.
We parents must take the chunk of the problem because the children spend more time with us at home than in the schools. They go to school with a bad attitude, behaviors and other negative manners that we as parents accept of them at home. I'm Francis Kwame. Okay, you are sending us a message from Winneba. Thank you so much. This one says, good morning, Mama Rose. I think the poor performance of students is as a result of poor parenting, resulting in the crop of students we have nowadays. Parents don't want their children to be disciplined in the name of human rights. You could remember in the past when whipping and other punishment were allowed, putting fear in the children were performing with limited resources. Children were performing well with limited resources. Don't we have better facilities now than we had in the past? Students travel to comb through libraries for books, but did better than people who have all the curriculum on their phone now. It's just about too much freedom to the children. If a child can't sweep or clean the school compound, but a cleaner, where is the training? Will every Ghanaian child grow up and get a maid in her house? I think we can't foresee what we are creating for the nation. Chief Kuzagbi Gamenu from South Tongo, he also says that, can we remember the trending news about the haircut of a small girl before being admitted to a secondary school? Did we hear all the backlash from some who think it's a cake to have their haircut and that it doesn't contribute to intelligence? Can they tell us that our security services should have any kind of hairstyles or no uniform because those are things that do not help them perform, and our military should have any kind of hair? If you know what you are hatching for the nation, you will have to run away from your shadows. Okay, thank you so much for sending this. We must end this hypocrisy. We all recognize that the ban on corporal punishment is also playing a role. Discipline has dwindled. Daniel Fenyi, please reassess this issue. Your comments indicate that the previous government manipulated the previous WASSCE data, and it seems that the Ghana Education Service is in charge of marking the script. Good morning, Honorable Ebenezer. This coming from Bra Samir. Okay. Good morning, dear. Most parents in Ghana have failed because moral lessons are now out of the average Ghanaian's books. Have you noted how some parents will go to any extent paying bribes to secure admissions for wards in some big schools? What does it communicate to these kids? Most of these SHS students can't even write it. Write myself. Their sentences are not well constructed. Well, that is so true. They can't write myself. Hey, this is bad, though. Okay, so... good morning, Joy Prime. I'm disappointed by the comments of the PRO this morning. Our brothers and sisters are failing their WASSCE, and instead of the Ministry of Education and GS focusing on investigating the reasons and find possible solutions to them, rather chooses to do politics with it. WAEC that conducted the exams in the past is the same today. So what is the PRO trying to tell us? Is it that WAEC would compromise the exams it conducts in one regime and decide to do the right thing in the other regime? This lazy approach of dealing with situations like this is hurting this country. All right, good morning, beautiful Roslyn. When Ebenezer Nartey asked whether the land was government land, the question was not answered. What was said was that the land was bought in 2004. Roslyn, tell Nartey he can do better. Political spider. Okay, so you see, like I said earlier, political spider, I said that we are going to get to the bottom of it. Of course, he has told us his side. And so we also need to speak to the authorities that caused this demolition to happen to find out why they did it and who even owns the land. Because sometimes some of these cases are in court and we might not be privy to it. Okay? Good morning, Roslyn. In fact, we are not going anywhere as long as we look at every issue through political lenses. The PR man should note that politics is a deceptive game. We'll wait to hear from him a year from now. Thank you. And I think that Yaw Sarpong also said the same thing. The fact of the matter is that this year questions didn't leak. WAEC this year were very positive, strict. Invigilators were more careful not to implicate themselves, and students were not given the chance to copy. This is the true results. But you see, I have written BC, I have written WASSCE. You don't have the chance to. You don't have the opportunity. It's a no-go area. You can't. I mean, let me read this last one. It says, let the counseling units of all schools have teachers in charge of corporal punishment. It should be back. Okay, should be back. Last one. Good morning, Roslyn Fenyi and your panelists. We Ghanaians are playing the ostrich. Facts be told that the era of allowing invigilators and teachers teach candidates when they're supposed to exhibit whatever they have learned is beginning to show up. Most of our WASSCE candidates end up being taught in examination hall, cannot proceed with their good grades to the various tertiary institutions. It's good we in Ghana get it right once and for all. Thank you, Honorable Azure Philip. Like I said, maybe it's the schools that I attended, because the schools that I attended, Nana, the invigilators were strict. You can't even turn your head. University of Ghana, same thing. You can't even.
No, it's not like that again.
It's not like that again.
That's why we said hard time is different. Look.
All right, so we have another guest joining us.
During your time, were you wearing hairnet to class?
Let me tell
and I won't friend say.
When we were writing RBC,
I didn't know she would.
When we were writing, in the day, I think we were writing maths or science.
Yeah.
There's a guy sitting behind me. You can't turn, you can't do anything. So the only thing he did was, he just picked the paper and said, no, if you don't know, you don't know. Then he just went out. Because he can't write. And he just left.
You know this...
Anyway, we have been joined by Dr. Peter Antipati. He's Executive Director for Institute for Education Studies, and he's joining us this morning. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you too?
Fine, thank you. And thank you for joining us. I know you have said that stringent measures should be given, strict punishments should be given to the invigilators who have been arrested because of these malpractices. Now, another conversation that is popping up is also discipline in schools. What's your take on it?
Thank you very much. Let me ask, are we linking the performance to indiscipline?
Yes.
Oh, well, let me make this point. It's important for us to, as a country, have a focus on what's really happening in terms of results that are brought up every year by WASSCE. These discussions should lead to finding solutions to the problems or the reasons why sometimes the performance are better and other times the performance are different. And for me, it's a little bit strange for anybody to link the performance, the results that have been released, the performance to factors like indiscipline or invigilation issues, or because those are not scientifically proven. And we should not base our policies on perceptions or our own understanding of what we think is the cause of a particular performance dip or a particular performance improvement. And that's why I asked the question whether we are linking indiscipline to the performance.
But Doc, what do you think could be the reason for this abysmal performance?
That is where I'm driving to. So we should not, first I would say that we should be a little bit patient in trying to ascribe reasons to the performance, especially with the core maths and then the social studies that a lot of people are complaining. We should be very careful, because the results was released this Saturday, and then we are in 1 day. That is 2 days. I don't think anybody have been able to do item analysis. Item analysis is when you try to look at the difficulty level of the questions for this year as compared to previous years. I don't think anybody has done that. The chief examiner has not released his report in relation to how students really answered the questions. We don't have that report there. So, and even if you are talking about effect of invigilation, I don't think anybody has done any kind of work to look at invigilation and performance for this particular results. You can also look at the number of papers and then schools that had their challenges with the results. Their results cancelled or withheld. If you compare that to previous years, you don't see a substantial difference in terms of the numbers. So if we start giving reasons, we are not helping the system. Discussions like this should lead to specific solutions for the next year. And that is why I've said that we always get it wrong when we analyze the data from the national averages. What we need to do is to dig down into the data and look at the individual school performances. So let me show you how this works. You see, before we get the national average, we have to aggregate the performance at individual school level. So it is the aggregation of the individual school levels that gives us that national average. Now, if we have schools that are performing extremely well, those individual schools can drive us the national average to a higher level. And then you will see a high performance at the national level. But when you dig down into the individual schools, you will see that some schools are still struggling and they didn't perform well. If we have schools that are performing poorly, those poor schools will drive down the national average. But then you see that those schools we have not been able to identify these schools, and therefore we will continue to say that, oh, the performance is what? It's weak. But there will be certain schools that did well after, when the results are released. This is just like when we are doing inflation. You look at the basket of goods within that particular, we used to get the inflation for the country. There are certain items in the basket that will drive inflation up or down. If you want to tackle inflation, you need to tackle those individual items so that when their prices are stable or their prices goes down, then the national inflation level would also come down. That is the kind of analysis that educational policymakers, educational managers need to make. And that is what we have not been.
Peter, hold on.
Okay, Peter.
Please don't bring inflation item baskets into this. You can't tackle individual items.
Yes,
yeah, Peter.
Yes.
I'm saying that. Listen, this is a national issue. You cannot tackle individual items within a basket. When we are talking about, yes, average-wise, that is okay, but we are talking about the nationalistic aspect of it. We have the individual items that are dealt with when the reports come out, and you see it dealt with. I believe that It is that same basket you are referring to that has been able to identify the social studies and the mathematics. But we are talking about the general issues that has led to the abysmal performance of the students. And you think that we should wait for the chief examiner's report to come out for us to go and do a research. Peter, I do not think you are doing this country any good. We are please hold on. But it's discipline part of our education.
I haven't learned.
No, because you are swaying from.
Peter, please make your point.
Because you have had your discussions at the studio. I don't think this is a banter.
It's not a banter. I'm just trying to ask a question. Is discipline part of our educational structure that leads to the success of students? Yes, no. Then we move on.
Okay, Nana, it's okay. Please, Peter, continue.
Well, I don't know the one who spoke, but the point is that I'm making a contribution to a discussion.
Please go ahead.
And I don't think that anybody is expecting me to mention factors that I'm not aware of and cannot scientifically prove.
That's
I'm
fine.
not into that. What I do is to analyze issues based on data. Because of my training and my policy
so Peter,
background.
what intervention do you think we can put in there to help curb this so that we don't see it again?
We cannot start doing prescription at this stage. That is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
Anything that we do, we'll come back next year to have the same discussion. I'm saying that we have been fixated with these national averages over the years. When the performance were going up, some of us still said that it is not because of A, B, C, D. We need to look at the drivers, the schools that are pushing the averages up, and then learn from what they are doing so that we can go and lift the schools that are not doing well. I'm saying that we cannot sit here after 2 days of results that are being released and start mentioning factors that this and this and this is what we perceive. You can do your perceptual analysis. That is fine, but you don't expect me to also do your perceptual analysis. That is not my training. I'm saying that you have to do the proper analysis to guide the Minister of Education to intervene in certain schools whose performance continue to bring the national average down, so that the next year those interventions can be measured, and then we will know what really has happened in these schools. So you can have your reasons. I can't begrudge you with that, but I'm saying that I will not tone your line. I am telling you that we need to be careful in ascribing reasons. Indiscipline has been part of our system for all these years. It didn't just come up recently. If questions that leak have been part of our system all these years, it didn't come up just recently. So if you say that those are the reasons why people didn't perform well in core mathematics, how are you going to justify that? How are you going to justify that? We should do ourselves a lot of good when we take our time to analyze issues and then ensure that we are helping the Minister of Education to do the proper intervention in our schools that are pulling the national averages down. The point I'm making. So you can have your perception.
So for you, Peter, you think that we should wait to see the report, and then after we see the report, then we go ahead with the intervention. Okay.
We can have our discussions on radio and TV. That is fine. But a Ministry of Education, people in politics space should not be in a hurry to jump into ascribing reasons for this performance. We should make sure that anything that we are saying would help to ensure the improvement of the system, and that is what we would have to do.
All right, thank you so much. Now, Peter, what do you think should happen to these teachers and vigilators that were, caught in the Malpractice Act?
I think that the first thing that we need to do is to ensure that they face the full rewards of the law. I have said, as you indicated earlier, that teachers who do this have broken their professional ethics and conduct. GES will have to deal with them, but NCT should also step in and then ensure that sometimes their licenses are suspended for some period or even withdrawn, so that they cannot continue to be in the classroom. Such case punishment would ensure that teachers will not get themselves involved in this kind of malpractice. So for me, I think we need to move a step further. NCC should start punishing teachers that engage themselves in these things and are caught.
What kind of punishment are we looking at?
They should just withdraw their license. The license is issued by NCC, and it is based on certain facts. The fact that you are supposed to conduct yourself professionally. One of the key pillars of NCC is professional values and attitude. And under that, you have what we call the professional conduct or the professional ethics.
All right.
Now,
Peter.
if you look at that, teachers are not supposed to engage in any kind of malpractice. So when you do that, you are breaking that particular professional attribute, and you need to pay for that.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Peter. We are grateful.
You're welcome.
Have a good one. Okay, and that's Dr. Peter Antipate, who is the Executive Director for Institute for Education Studies, and he's actually told us his side.
Just a quick one.
Yes, I think that we have to wrap up.
We had results last year. We had results this year. And so you tell me to wait for a report that should come from a chief examiner.
But last year was better than this year.
Let me read this. I didn't write this. This is on your news portal. The West African Examination Council has confirmed a national education concern with the release of the provisional WASSCE 2025 results, revealing a worrying surge. I didn't write this.
No, you see, what Peter is saying, and I think that you have your point that you have made, and Peter is saying that let's wait for the report to come in. Now, if the report comes in and we see that indiscipline was a contributing factor,
but the report indicates that there's indiscipline.
But the report will indicate what the factors are.
I don't work with GES. I am not an examiner. I am not the one who came out to say that they write social media language scripts. I am not the one who came to say that they take phones in there. I am not the one. He's asking that the teachers who were involved in the malpractice should be sanctioned.
They should take their license.
They should have they investigated to find what necessitated or triggered the teachers for helping the students, and he's saying they should be punished. You see, sometimes when some of these issues come up and we want to make very objective contributions to it, some of these human rights and PhD holders should exercise patience with us. I can't go out there to go and do a research on this. I am only making my contribution based on previous analysis that they did and came out, and what is happening now.
Okay.
You understand me? And we all around the table agree that discipline in any learning institution is key to the success of the institution and the students. Finito. But if today you want us to wait for an analysis to come out first, and who doesn't know that there is an average basket that is used for the contribution? Who doesn't know that when the report comes out, it would also look at individual elements or items within that basket?
All right, thank you, Dana. Let me read it.
They are always running away when we are talking about issues of indiscipline. What is the issue with indiscipline? Why are they running away from it?
Okay, good morning, Nigeria Roslyn. This is Abdul Ganiu Makarigu from Savannah region. It seems the government has adopted a deliberate strategy to limit the number of students who can progress to tertiary education. Mohammed's government. For almost a year now, teachers have not been treated like true citizens, so how can they give their best to the students when they themselves are suffering under this administration? Teachers were given subventions to support students with extra classes and help them prepare well for their exams. However, after taking office, the NDC quickly cancelled this initiative, and that decision has contributed to the poor performance we are seeing now. It appears the government is intentionally failing students just to prevent them from benefiting from the no stress fee. Oh, this one I don't agree with you, boss. I don't agree with you at all. Mensa Maji says that my regards to hardworking manager. Teacher Kojo Tepa Yesuano is saying happy birthday. Shamel Mauli says that my sister, the new curriculum would even make it worse. Textbooks for new curriculum for basic schools was not provided. Tablets for SHS 1 and 2 students for the new curriculum has also delayed. Areas like visual arts have been cramped up with just 3 areas. No internet for students to do research. It would get worse. Okay, all right. That's all for the messages that have come in on Facebook this morning. Honorable Ebenezer Nartey, 1 minute, and then I have to go.
President, just as we have said from the beginning, I believe that this is a matter for discussion. It shouldn't warrant any political tone into this, because if care is not taken, then it will end up by people coming out with qualifications and determine the number of years somebody used to do his PhD, whilst others are using 2 weeks for PhD, others are using 2 years for PhD, others are using 6 years for PhD. But we are believing that we need to produce quality and not quantity. It looks as if now in our education system now, or maybe most of the things that we do, yes, in education, it's like we just want you to pass your exams. But what about the substance? At the end of the day, just as some of the testers have said, that there are somebody who have completed SSCE, waiting for results, go to the university. But if you ask him or her to write myself, he can't, or she can't write it. What are the costs of it? We need to brainstorm. We should not bring politics into it, but rather sit down and look, this sector of our economy, this sector of our ministries, we are not supposed to do politics with it. Education, health, energy, this. Because when we do it, this will be the end results of it. But if we decide to read politics in everything that we do, I can tell you, a time will come. We can't do anything in this country.
Well, that's true, Ebenezer Nartey. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so grateful. So, Nana Yaw Sarpong, thank you. And Ebenezer, thank you.
This has nothing to do with your...
Is it a birthday message?
Yes, it's more like a birthday message. So we actually, Alan is leading a program called the African Summit.
Okay.
And it would come off from this Tuesday 16th to Wednesday 17th of December at the Kempinski. He's looking at building a new united Africa. And one of the sessions would be looking at whether or not the United States of Africa is a myth or a reality. He's bringing in heads of states from other countries and other stakeholders from all across the world into this country to actually discuss. You know, he has always been somebody who pushes for the greater of the nation Ghana.
Okay.
And after AFCFTA, which is the main architect, of course, they wouldn't want to accept it. Ben is laughing. But Yaw Sarpong admits that indeed...
Are you giving us an invite?
Yeah, we'll give you an invite to come. We are thinking about Ghana and Africa.
Thank you very much. Let me go now. I don't have enough time. So I want to say a very big thank you to all of you that watched this particular segment.